Hello, and welcome for day 4. Thank you for coming back. I feel like my visual is foggy here. I don't know if it looks funny. I don't know. Anyway, um, so excited for this day. I am loving seeing the insights that you're having, the changes that you're making, no matter what they are. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing that. So, I also wanted to just go back and say that if you are seeing us in some other place, so if you are seeing us on a business page or on a YouTube channel, then you can join us in the group Live the Sweet Life. And we will talk a little bit more. I'm just trying to get my notes in order here. Uh, we will talk a little bit more about day 4. So if you're joining me from a Facebook business page or from a YouTube channel, you can join us in this challenge. All of these videos will be up for the next 30 days. We'll be doing a drawing on Monday, so you can walk through. You just have to be active on each day, or interact with each one post from each of the days, and there'll be a drawing on Monday. So feel free to join us. If you just look in the comments for this video, and you can find the link for the group. The reason why we are doing self-care is when we feed our soul, then we can use the food for fuel. And it is fine. Sometimes we do need to use food for comfort, or that happens, and that is fine. However, it really makes sense to be able to do other things, right? To be able to have other ways to care for ourselves instead of just the food. And so that's why self-care is so important. And in the group, we focus on helping women to find their energy and their healthy habits so that they can do the things that they love to do without cutting calories, carbs, or macros. We're really not into that. So come on over and join us. And I also I have been a sugar addict myself, or a sugar lover myself, and I have been there. So really the focus is on eating for balance so that it really takes away the cravings for us, and it makes it a lot easier. So come on over and join us if you're not already there. So we are on day 4 of this challenge. On the first day, we busted some myths about self-care. It's not just all manis and petties and taking a lot of time and whatever. That is great if that's your jam and you can do that. Wonderful. But it's really much, much more than that. Day 2, we talked about making space for ourselves, saying no, not taking on too many things, changing our expectations, accepting help. Day 3 was about nourishing ourselves with connection, faith, or ignore that if that's not for you, connection with self or connection with others. And then today we are going to talk about getting out of a rut and refreshing ourselves. So it is mid-February here, and depending on where you are in the country, it might be cold, it might be snowy, and spring is coming. The sense of renewal is coming. Good morning, Gail. The sense of renewal is coming. Can you feel it? If you're in another part of the country, you may already be getting spring. Or if you're in another part of the world, you may already be getting different weather. But this is all about getting out of a rut, refreshing, and renewal. So there's a term that really struck me because I kind of felt it too. It's called languishing. So languishing is when you're not really moving forward, you're not really moving backward, you're just kind of stuck in the same place. And it is a great word for how a lot of people have felt during this pandemic. If you think about all the things, at first, you can't go out of the house. We're now working from home. You're not supposed to go out to eat. I mean, a lot of this is lifting now. A lot of this is changing in places, but this is what we kind of live with off and on for the past 2 years. Don't get together with too many people. We're interacting with people through a screen. We are ordering out more. We're sitting on a couch more. We're kind of just doing the same things. We're languishing. So we're not really moving forward. We're not really moving backwards. We're just kind of staying in the same place. So if that resonates with you, you can, drop a comment there if you feel like, yeah, languishing. My husband was actually talking to me about this because he mostly works at home. Now they're beginning to bring people back to the office again. but how every day felt like a carbon copy of the last. You know, wake up, work all day in the office at home, then come downstairs, we have dinner, maybe he'll go for a walk or a hike, and then we go to bed and you wake up the next day and you do it all over again. It's like exactly the same over and over again, right? And I know in some ways that can be soothing and comfortable. We can get a lot going on, but can really also feel like stuck, boring, weary, languishing. And uh, depending on where you are, I kind of have tried to make this almost on a continuum, the self-care journey that we've been on, where we just kind of first figured out where are we, and then let's just make a little space for ourselves. That's all, day 2 was just make a little space. And then, connecting, and then now we're kind of expanding a little bit further to kind of add some variety, add something different so that we're not just languishing. So, basically this kind of feels like being in a rut, and we can get into a rut in like lots of different areas in our life. So, uh, and one of the things I want to point out is you may be at different places. So you, for example, might be really tired because you're not getting enough sleep. You've got a lot going on at work. You're feeling really stressed out about something. So maybe what your variety is going to be very, very small. Or maybe, the first thing you need to really work on is just making space for yourself and getting enough sleep and things like that. But we'll talk about kind of the different things that we can do today to add that variety. So, two things I wanted to talk about today are movement and adding variety. And basically, the concept is this: if you want to feel something different, you have to do something different. We get stuck in the same positions. We have positions and stances and seats and things, routines that we just do over and over, and we just kind of fall into them and we kind of get stuck into them. In one of the books that I've been reading lately, Unwinding Anxiety, he's been talking about this and about it's basically you get these body states that are linked with emotions, and they've been together for so long that even getting yourself in that body state kind of brings up that emotion. Or you bring up that emotion, you kind of just gravitate toward that body state. And so, in this state of languishing, where we've been just physically doing the same things, mentally doing the same things over and over and over again, adding this movement, adding this variety can help us to break out of that rut and break out of that languishing. So the linking of the body states and the emotion has a specific name. I can't remember it right now. It was some kind of somatic state, but those are things that happen that wire together. So one of the ways is with your eyes. This was a really interesting study that I don't know if he did or he referenced, but basically, if you open your eyes wide, so right now, if you just open your eyes wide now and you try to feel disgusted, yeah, someone is saying same thing over and over again. Yes. So if you open your eyes wide right now and then think about something disgusting and try to bring up a feeling of disgust, it's kind of hard. Like your eyes don't want to be open if there is a feeling of disgust, right? And same thing, if you kind of narrow your eyes in a face of disgust and you try to take in new information or do a cognitive process that's hard, they found that it was harder for people if you were making a face of disgust because you're trying to like push away information. So the same happens in our life. We get stuck in these same positions over and over again, in the same emotions over and over again. So we're going to talk about breaking that out a little bit. So some of the little ways that you can do this, obviously there's movement. There's just getting up and going for a walk and moving around, and that is great. But some little things that you can do is, if your routine is you come home and you watch TV, you may notice in your house that you will always sit in the same spot, that the other family members always sit in the same spot, that the pets even tend to sit in the same spot. So we're doing these same things over and over again. So when at the end of the day, when you're watching Netflix, just sit in a different seat. Lay down instead of sitting up. Lay on the floor Instead of sitting, just try one little thing to kind of changing perspective. If you are working on something in your mind and you're feeling really stuck and you're sitting there, see if you can get up and move around the room. Move to a different point of the room, stand in a corner of the room you've never stood in, and now start to think about your problem. It may just shake things up a little bit, just enough. It sounds kind of bizarre, but just try moving around the room, being in a different place. Go stand with your back in that corner of that room that you never stand in that corner and see if it does give you just a little bit of a different perspective on things. Just try a different kind of movement. If you're feeling kind of stuck, just even moving around, even trying just some different kind of movement, some different kind of stretches that you can do as well. So movement is really helpful. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about is variety. So it really is true. I know there's that cliche saying, variety is the spice of life, but that really is true because we are doing the same things over and over and over again. It becomes this same, we talked about that hedonistic adaptation yesterday, same kind of thing. This, we adapt to it and then it's not as exciting and then we kind of get stuck in places. So adding variety. So there's some really super easy ways to add variety. If you walk every day, walk a new route, walk your route backwards. See if you can, just find something new. See if you can even just notice something new on your route. Try a new flavor of a food or try a new food. Did you know our taste buds really do change every 7 to 10 years? There something you didn't like a long time ago, you might like it now. And I know for the picky eaters like me, I'm still a recovering picky eater. That can be challenging, but even just trying a new food, try listening with an open mind to different music. So maybe you don't go all the way to the music that you've always said, "Oh, I can't stand that type of music," whatever it is. But maybe you just try something different, but just with an open mind. Trying not to judge it, just listening. Somebody loves this music and there is something they love about it. You may not, but just experiencing something different doesn't mean you have to listen to it forever, just for a few minutes just to kind of try it. I know this can be challenging for some people who you have your set ways of doing things. This is what you like. So pick the thing here that really works for you. So another thing, which is really therapeutic and awesome, clean a closet out of your house. So get stuff moving in your house. So refresh the stuff, get some variety there. Rearrange a room. Is there a new store in your area that you've never been to but is intriguing to you? See if you can go there. Get a new journal and a pen if that's the thing that you're into. Pick a new skill to learn. So is there a new craft you want to learn or something like that? Now, again, if you are feeling exhausted already and you're listening to this, you might be thinking like, ain't nobody got time for that. I am not going to learn a new craft. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. Pick something small. Pick something super small. Just a way to change up your workout. Clean out a closet, right? And by the way, I can't always see, you can grant um, StreamYard permission to see your name because I can't always see everyone's name inside of the StreamYard app. I will when I go back into Facebook. So if I don't mention your name, that's why, because it's not showing it to me. So if you are really exhausted and you've got a lot going on in your life, maybe you pick something a lot smaller. So for example, if you come home every day, you have the same day every day, and you come home and you are, sitting on the couch and kind of watching TV and all of that, and then you go to bed, maybe just go to bed a little earlier, or maybe instead of watching TV, you try reading a book in bed at night. So just sometimes a little bit of variety is enough to kind of shake things up in your life to give your brain a little bit of a refresh. It could be something really small, a new flavor of tea, a new comfy thing to wear to bed, a new route with the dog, all of those kinds of things. And there are different things that are in front of us all the time that we can be doing. So here's a true story. I have always wanted to be able to play the piano. I don't know how to play the piano. For years and years, the reason why I couldn't play a piano was that I did not have a piano in the house. Well, 5 years ago, we got my daughter a digital piano. It's installed like it looks like a regular piano. It's a full keyboard and all of that. So now there is actually a piano in my house that I can actually play. And I went on when she got it, I went on to Udemy. I don't know. I never know if I'm saying that right. They do those online courses, those self-paced courses, and I bought a learn to play piano course. So that's a great opportunity for me at night. Now, I'm not going to do this on nights when I'm feeling super exhausted, but that's a great night for me. Rather than just watching the same show on Netflix, just turn on the piano. I've done it a few times, but I need to keep doing it. And that's a new refreshing thing, and it creates new pathways in your brain, and it refreshes your brain, and so this is a way to kinda help sort of get out of a rut. So these are some things that you can do, and what our activity will be today will be to pick what's the new thing that you need to do. So, could be something super small. Maybe it's, you go read a book in bed, or you're going to bed early, or take a different route to work, or try a different place to walk your dog. Or maybe it's something a little bigger. Even just try standing in a different place in your house. We get kind of stuck in these same motions that we're doing over and over again. So this is a little bit of a way to add some refreshment to our lives and refresh our brain so that things still feed our soul. Because what happens is over time, the things that we are doing, even though there are things that we like, because of that adaptation effect, they are less and less impactful for us. And we start to get that itch to, I need something else. I need something new. I need something better. And then sometimes we get that itch to go to food or other things or things like that, things that are just scratching that itch of surfing on Facebook, of saying yes to everything and being super busy all the time, all of those things. So, making sure that we are adding variety and movement and refreshment into our days can help keep us satisfied, with what we're doing, and continually bring us new things. So I'm excited to see what you come up with. I'll be posting the homework soon. Really appreciate you being here. If this is content you've enjoyed and you know someone else who could use this, definitely invite them in. Thank you so much, and I will see you around.